Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's well. I think there have been a few issues with our Facebook Live feed. It's working, but it's a bit judgery. I don't know. I don't understand technology. I'm guessing it's something to do with the fact that we've got 6 people in the house and they're all using the internet in some way and it's all going. But I don't know. I'm just guessing. Anyway, I hope everyone is really well. The sun is shining again today, which is lovely. So if you get a chance to enjoy your garden or just stand outside your front door for a few minutes, make sure you get some fresh air so that you feel a bit better. Okay, got a nice selection of stories for you again today. I'm going to start off with a classic. So I read a story from this beautiful edition of Fairy Tales, I think last week. I can't remember. But I'm going to read you another one. So they're retold by Burley Doherty and they're illustrated by Jane Ray. If you've not come across Jane Ray before, or Burley Doherty, first of all, where have you been? And second of all, the illustrations that Jane Ray does are always really kind of rich and just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I highly recommend you seeking her out. So today I'm going to read you her version of Rumpelstiltskin. There it is. And I will try to remember to show you the pictures. Once upon a time, there was a poor weaver who had a beautiful daughter. When she worked beside him spinning her thread, her hair shone like strands of gold, and her father would look at her and sigh. "Oh, daughter, you're much too beautiful to marry a poor man. You deserve to be married to the king of the realm and to live in great happiness." His daughter looked at him and smiled and carried on with her spinning. "I'm happy with you, father, and no one has asked me to marry him yet. And anyway, I'm never likely to meet the king of the realm." Now, one day the weaver and his daughter were sitting outside in the sunshine at work, because their cottage was cold and damp and gloomy inside, with walls that were 5 feet thick and a low thatched roof that sank over the tops of the tiny windows. They were enjoying the birdsong when they heard the clattering of hoofs and some men on horseback drew up. They were dressed very grand indeed in silks and fine cloth, which the weaver admired greatly, and it was obvious that the grandest of them was admiring the weaver's daughter, and the way the sunlight gleamed in her long golden hair. "You think she is beautiful?" the weaver said, thinking to himself how wonderful it would be if this man wanted to marry his daughter. "I do," said the fine young man. "I think she's more beautiful than any girl I have ever seen. More than that," the cunning weaver said, "she is the cleverest. She can spin straw into gold." "Well," laughed the young man, "I would like to believe that. Perhaps your daughter will come with me and show me. If what you say is true, old man, I will ask your daughter to be my wife. May I take her to my castle?" It was only then that the weaver realised that he was talking to the king himself. He fluttered round his daughter. "Come on," he whispered, tripping over bales of cloth in his excitement. "Go with his majesty before he changes his mind." "But father," she whispered back, "how can I? You know I can't spin straw into gold." "Shh," the father whispered. "Never mind, he's half in love with you already. Off you go." And because she loved her father, she went. He stood at his cottage door and waved goodbye to her, and tears of hope streamed down into his beard. "My daughter will marry the king," he said. And maybe his words were heard by the creatures of the wood, and maybe they weren't. As soon as they arrived at the castle, the young king put the girl into a room, and all that was in it was a spinning wheel and a mound of straw. "Let's see what you can do, because I would like to marry you," the king said. "But how can I marry a poor weaver's daughter?" And he closed the door on her. Oh, the girl stared gloomily at the straw. "His Majesty will be putting me on a horse and sending me home again tomorrow," she said. And a bit later, she was still staring at the straw. "He won't be sending me home on a horse. He'll be making me walk barefoot and ashamed." And a bit later, she was still staring at the straw. "He won't be sending me home at all. He'll be putting me in the dungeon for lying to him, and I'll never see my father again. Oh, my poor father." "Now stop that crying," she heard a strange croaky voice, and looked around to see a little humpbacked man with skin that was crumpled like an old dry apple. "What will you give me if I spin the straw into gold for you?" "Oh, can you really do that?" "I said I could," the little man snapped, holding out his hand. The girl took off her necklace and gave it to him, and he told her to close her eyes. She fell asleep to the sound of the hum of the spinning wheel. When she woke, the little man had gone, and in the corner of the room where the straw had been, there was now a heap of gold. "Oh, this is wonderful," the king said when he saw it, "but can you do it again?" He ordered more straw and left her in her room, and the girl was more downhearted than ever. She thought of her father in his lonely cottage, waiting for news of her. "How can I possibly spin this straw into gold?" she said. "Oh, my poor father! Will I ever see him again?" "Stop that!" she heard the little man say, and there he was, standing next to her and holding out his hand. "We did it once, we'll do it twice." So the girl pulled off her ring and gave it to him, closed her eyes and fell asleep to the sound of the spinning wheel humming. And when she woke up, the little man had gone, and so had the pile of straw, and in its place there was a heap of gold. When he saw it, the king was even more delighted with her. "Your father was right," he said. "You are as clever as you are beautiful. But before I ask you to marry me, I must be sure that you can do it a third time." He ordered more straw to be brought to her room, and he closed the door and left it there. And this time the girl was in deep despair. Night came down, and no sign of the little man. The moon came up, no sign. Dawn began to creep across the sky, no sign. "Oh, my poor father!" she sobbed. "Stop that!" There was the little man standing by her side and holding out his hand. "We did it once, we did it twice, we'll do it thrice." "But I haven't got anything else to give you," the girl said. "You've had my necklace, you've had my ring, and I haven't anything else." "I'll spin your straw into gold," the little man said, "and you will marry the king, and when your first child is born, you will give him to me. That is my bargain. Do you agree?" Outside, the cockerel crowed. Day was coming. "Yes, yes," the girl said, and she closed her eyes. And it was just as the little man with the crumpled apple skin had said. The king was so pleased to see the straw that had been turned into gold that he asked the girl to marry him, and she said yes. There was a wonderful wedding. The weaver came to live in the castle grounds and to make fine cloths for his son-in-law the king, and a year later the girl gave birth to a baby boy. On the night of his christening, the girl sat in her room singing her baby to sleep. "Stop that!" said a voice, and there at her side was a little man holding out his hands. "I've come for my child," he said. "Please, please don't take him away from me," she begged. "You will have 3 chances," he said. "If you haven't guessed my name by the end of the 3rd day, then the baby will be mine." And the next moment he was gone. The girl thought all night and all the next day. She asked everyone she met what their names were. She sent out the king's servants to collect names, and nothing seemed right. That night the little man appeared just as he said he would. "Know my name?" he croaked. She thought she might as well try the most obvious ones first. "Humptyback?" she suggested. "No," he snapped. "Shrivelsskin?" "No, no." He stamped his foot on the ground. "Stampyfoot?" "No, no, no." And he stamped and hopped round the room. The next thing, he had gone. The girl sent servants even further, and they all came back with names that didn't seem right. At midnight the little man came again. "Know my name?" This time she thought she would try the least likely names. So she began with Harry Handsome. "No," he smiled. "Gilbert Goldenheart." "No, no," he chuckled. "Michael the Mighty." "No, no, no," and he laughed and danced around the room. "One last chance," he croaked. Again the girl sent out all the servants, and again they came back with names that just didn't seem right. Night came, and the last servant came home to the castle. He was the groom's lad, and he ran up the stairs to her room 3 at a time and pounded on her door. "I've got a story to tell you," he panted. "This is no time for stories," said the girl. "But listen," the lad said. "I rode over the mountain and through the wood and across the river, and I came to a place I've never seen before. I stopped to rest my horse, and there was a fox with his lair, and the old owl's roost. I found a little hut, and inside I heard a croaky voice singing. I peeped through the door, and there was a strange little man leaping round his fire. 'And he'll be here any minute,' the girl said. 'Go away, let me think, the clock is beginning to strike.' 'No, listen, this is the song the little man sings. Oh, I can dance, and oh, I can sing. Tonight I'll have the son of the king. Servants look high and servants look low. They won't have my secret wherever they go. Servants go back the way they came. Rumpelstiltskin is my name. The clock finished striking, and the lad ran back to the stable. The girl picked up her baby, and there was a little man standing next to her and holding his hands. Know my name? He asked. Could it be Lee or Tom or Liam? The girl said. Oh, no, nothing like. Could it be Francis, Matthew or Geoffrey? Oh, no, no good. You give up, don't you? The baby's mine. But instead of giving him the baby, the girl began to sing. Oh, I can dance and I can sing. You'll never have the son of the king. Servants look high, servants look low. They found out your secret, and I'll have you know. Servants came back home again. Rumpelstiltskin is your name. And she laughed with delight and hugged her baby boy to her. The little man stamped so hard that his foot went right through the floor, and he went with it and was never seen again. And the stable lad was given a horse that was the colour of gold, and everybody lived happily to the end of their days. I hope you enjoyed that one. This one is not a new one, but it's very funny. It's called Sam and Dave Dig a Hole. It's written by Matt Barnett and it's illustrated by John Classon. There it is. Published by Walker Books. It's a clever one. You have to have a look at the pictures as well, okay? See what you can notice. So there's the first one. Sam and Dave dig a hole. On Monday, Sam and Dave dug a hole. When should we stop digging? Asked Sam. We are on a mission, said Dave. We won't stop digging until we find something spectacular. The hole got so deep that their heads were underground, but they still had not found anything spectacular. We need to keep digging, said Dave. So they kept digging. They took a break. Dave drank chocolate milk out of a flask. Sam ate animal biscuits he had wrapped in their grandfather's kerchief. Maybe, said Dave. The problem is that we are digging straight down. Yes, said Sam. That could be the problem. I think we should dig in another direction, said Dave. Yes, said Sam. That is a good idea. I have a new idea, said Dave. Let's split up. Really? Said Sam. Just for a little while, said Dave. It will improve our chances. So Dave went one way and Sam went the other. But they did not find anything spectacular. Maybe we should go back to digging straight down, said Dave. Yes, said Sam. That is a good idea. Sam and Dave ran out of chocolate milk, but they kept digging. They shared the last animal biscuits, but they kept digging. After a while, Sam sat down. Dave, he said, I am tired. I cannot dig any more. I'm tired too, said Dave. I should have a rest. Sam and Dave fell asleep. Then Sam and Dave were falling. Sam and Dave fell down, 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 until they landed in the soft earth. Well, said Sam. Well, said Dave. That was pretty spectacular. And they went inside for chocolate milk and animal biscuits. That's a clever one, isn't it? Okay. Next one. This is a very new story that the author sent to me. And I said that I would be very happy to read it. So it's called The Cockatoo from Timbuktu, and it's written by William A.E. Ford and illustrated by Ramil M. Muck. There it is. It's pretty cute. Is that the noise a cockatoo makes? I'm guessing probably not. I love this one. I do like a story with a map, and this one has got a map. Look at that. Beautiful. He and the Cockatoo lived in a zoo not so far away from you. His wings were white, his body too, the yellow-crested bird from Timbuktu. He loved to sing and sang all day about the games he used to play when he was home having fun in Timbuktu with Dad and Mum. The kids would flock to hear him sing, but he was sad, the little thing. He wanted out and had a plan. I'll sneak right out as soon as I can. The zookeeper opened the aviary door, so Kian flew out before he saw, between his legs without a sound, free at last, homeward bound. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, trying to get home to Timbuktu. Land ahead he swooped on down. Timbuktu? Is this the town? Penguins and seals with splashy tails. What's that? Oh, a scary killer whale. This place is cold and full of snow. It's Antarctica. Time to go. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, trying to get home to Timbuktu. Land ahead he swooped on down. Timbuktu, is this the town? Kangaroos hopping all about, snappy crocodiles, better watch out! Cuddly koalas hanging in the trees. It's Australia. Time to leave. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, trying to get home to Timbuktu. Land ahead he swooped on down. Timbuktu, is this the town? A monkey swinging in the tree, a big grey elephant that he could see, a slithery snake lying in the tree. Lying on the ground, a large striped tiger looking all around. Parrots squawking in the sky. This is India. Time to fly. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, trying to get home to Timbuktu. Land ahead he swooped on down. Timbuktu, is this the town? A baby panda playing peekaboo, while mummy panda's munching yummy bamboo. A great wall, what an amazing view. Oh, this is China. Time to say toodaloo. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, trying to get home to Timbuktu. Land ahead he swooped on down. Timbuktu, is this the town? A big red double-decker bus. The Cockatoo missed it, only just. 1,000 pigeons in Trafalgar Square. And there was Big Ben right over there. Black taxis going beep beep and toot toot. Oh, this is London. Time to shoot. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, trying to get home to Timbuktu. Land ahead he swooped on down. Timbuktu, is this the town? Times Square with its neon lights. Broadway and the Empire State shining bright. The Statue of Liberty, buildings up to the sky. It's New York. Time to say goodbye. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, trying to get home to Timbuktu. Land ahead he swooped on down. Timbuktu, is this the town? Copacabana Beach and a carnival, everyone dancing, so remarkable. Lots to eat, what a lovely smell. This is Rio. Time to say farewell. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, trying to get home to Timbuktu. Land ahead he swooped on down. Timbuktu, is this the town? Pyramids in a scorching sun, a giant sphinx, and so much fun. Hissing snakes that want a snack. Better be careful and watch your back. Lots to see, a lovely day. This is Egypt. Time to slip away. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, trying to get home to Timbuktu. Kian was lost what to do. Something triggered at last he knew. He remembered a story when he was young that he was told by his mum. If he looked up high for the brightest star, shining on Africa from afar, he would find Timbuktu. He knew the way home, the Cockatoo. Onwards and upwards flew the Cockatoo, going home to Timbuktu. As he was taught, he followed the star until he was flying over Africa. Down below he could see his mum and dad in a tree, singing a song about their son and how they wished he would return. Their prayers were answered as he flew down. But down he flew, thousands of miles from the zoo, home at last in Timbuktu, three very happy cockatoos. When you go on an amazing adventure, I'll let you into a little secret. I don't think I realised that Timbuktu was a real place until I was about 11 or 12. I just thought it was made up. Oh dear. Okay. How much time have we got? Oh, we've got lots of time. Alright. So this story is called Cyril and Pat, and it's written and illustrated by the very glorious Emily Gravitz. There it is. Published by Two Hoops Books. Just want to take the dust jacket off so it doesn't get creased while I'm reading it to you. And it's even beautiful without the dust jacket. Look at that. How cool is that? This one's got some good humour in it for the parents as well, I think. If you'll like this one. There we go. Lake Park only had one squirrel, all alone and sad. Poor Cyril. Until the morning he met Pat, his new best friend. A big, grey squirrel, just like me! Pat and Cyril spent each day thinking up good games to play. They liked to put on puppet shows and test how fast a skateboard goes. Their favourite games were hide and seek, and one that they called pigeon sneak. Boo! Oh, Cyril, can't you see that your friend Pat is not like you? Your friend's a real joker. At lunchtime, when the ducks were fed, Pat jumped in and took some bread. Oh, Cyril, can't you see that your friend Pat is not like you? Your friend's a brilliant sharer. And when they both got chased by Slim, together they outwitted him, ran all around the park. Oh, Cyril, can't you see that your friend Pat is not like you? Your friend's a clever squirrel and you can't catch us, shouted Cyril. Pat tried to learn to earn a treat like Cyril could by looking sweet, but no one threw a treat for Pat. Oh, Mum, I saw a great big rat! Rat? Oh, Cyril, can't you see that your friend Pat is nothing but a dirty rat? Oh, Cyril, can't you see that your friend Pat is nothing but a thieving rat? Oh, Cyril, can't you see it? Facts are facts. Squirrels can't be friends with rats. Cyril, now back on his own, tried to play their games alone. But when he tried to outrun Slim, things didn't go so well for him. Cyril ran out of the park, past the pond and down the slide, no time for him to try and hide. Into the city, into the dark. All alone and scared, poor Cyril. Not quite alone, you stupid squirrel, and not so brave without that rat. Ahem, do you mean me? Said Pat. Lake Park still only has one squirrel, but he is not alone. Now Cyril lives there with a large grey rat, his brave and clever best friend, Pat. Gorgeous story. So I don't know if you'll remember, but last week I read a story called My Cat's Weird for my 18-year-old baby. This week I'm reading a story called Alice the Fairy, written and illustrated by David Shannon. There it is. For my 20-year-old baby, Alice, who I had forgotten kept this book. I don't remember who bought it for her, but she absolutely adored it, mainly because it's got a little girl called Alice in it, who's a fairy. I mean, really, what more could you want? It's very funny. And it says here, to Emma the Fairy and the lovely Duchess, who isn't really wicked at all. My name is Alice, and I'm a fairy. I'm not a permanent fairy. I'm a temporary fairy. You have to pass a lot of tests to be a permanent fairy. I have wings so I can fly. I can't fly very high yet, but I can fly really fast. This is my magic wand. This is my blanket. Fairies use magic wands to change frogs into princes and things like that. I changed my dad into a horse. One time my mum made cookies for my dad, so I turned them into mine. I felt bad about the cookies, so I thought I'd whip up a new outfit for my dad. Did I tell you he's the Duke of Morningside Drive? Well, he is. Golden sparkly pants, plaid velvet shirt, purplish pinkish shoes, my favourite colour. But clothes were too hard, so I made him a new crown instead. With my magic wand, I can make leaves fall from trees, and I can draw pictures in water. Sometimes I use my wand to disappear, but that's kind of scary. I'd rather use my blanket. Of course, I also have a magic mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Well, what do you know? It's me, Alice. Thank you, mirror. Fairy dust is very useful. I use it to turn oatmeal into cake. Casting spells is another important part of being a fairy. Watch me make my dog float on the ceiling. Hocus pocus, croaking docus, halkin talkin, ringing falcon, doggin flogging, fiddle noggin. Okay, that one needs a little work. But a fairy must be very careful with magic. Once I accidentally turned my white dress into a red one. That made the Duchess so mad she locked me in the tower forever. I got away though. A fairy's life is filled with danger. Broccoli is often poisoned by the wicked Duchess and should never be eaten. Fairies also hate baths. I'd like to turn my bathwater into strawberry jello. That would be fun. But I don't know how yet. You have to be a permanent fairy to do tricks like that. They go to advanced fairy school to learn how. I'm supposed to learn how to make clothes get up off the floor and dance around and line up in the closet. I'm not very good at that though. I'll probably be a temporary fairy forever. There you go. I have got one more story left, but it's a bit longer than 3 minutes, which is how much time we're supposed to have left. So, I might do it in installments. I'll read it anyway, and if you've got other things to do at 10 o'clock, then that's fine. So this is called The Little Sea Dragon's Wild Adventure. There it is. I'm very lucky because I've got a signed copy. I do like a signed book. By Helen Dunmore and illustrated by Michael Foreman. Absolutely beautiful. I cannot remember who it's published by. Sorry, publishers. Let me see. It is published by, I still don't know. I bet Crom Books. There you go. So it's really beautiful. The little sea dragon did not want to go to the deep, dark, slimy wrecks to collect treasure with his friends and relations. All sea dragons love treasure, said his father. What is treasure? Asked the little sea dragon. Gold and silver and rubies and diamonds, said his mother. But what can you do with gold and silver and rubies and diamonds? Asked the little sea dragon. Don't be so silly, said his mother. We always gather treasure from the deep, dark wrecks. We bury it in slithery sea caves. That's what sea dragons have always done. Boring, said the little sea dragon. He wanted to go on a wild adventure. While everyone was polishing their scales to get ready for the journey, the little sea dragon slipped away to visit his friend Ayla. Ayla was a mergirl. I want to go on a wild adventure, said the little sea dragon. I'll come with you, said Ayla. My mother won't let me go swimming with the dolphins. She says I'm too young, but I'm not. I know where there is a strong current. We can ride the current so fast and so far that no one will ever catch us. It was very early in the morning and the sun had not yet come up. The strong current wove its way like a rope through the deep, dark sea. Ayla and the little sea dragon closed their eyes and counted to 3. They plunged into the current. It pulled them as hard as the moon pulls the tides. It pulled them as fast as a dolphin can swim or a whale can dive. Bubbles churned around their heads. Even when they opened their eyes, they couldn't see where they were going. The current rushed, and Ayla and the sea dragon held on tight to each other. Suddenly the water cleared, and ahead of them was a cliff of sheer black rock. The current roiled and boiled, and a huge wave reared up. It seized the little sea dragon and Ayla and hurled them high, high, high in a churn of foam. It threw them down with a rush that tossed them over the rock and onto the wide, white beach. A second wave crashed over them, and the little sea dragon and Ayla were buried in the sand. but they were still holding on tight to each other. Soon they heard voices. 2 children had come down to the beach before breakfast to find the sandcastle they had built yesterday. But the big waves had come so high there was no sandcastle left. "It's gone," said Blake. "We can build another," said Amber. "Look at this. Someone's been making a sand sculpture." Amber walked around the shapes of the little sea dragon and Ayla. The little sea dragon had sand in his throat. He wanted so much to cough, but he didn't dare. "It's a mermaid," said Amber. "And a dragon," said Blake, who knew about dragons. "A sea dragon," they both said. The little sea dragon coughed, sand quivered, Amber and Blake stared. "Help us," said a faint voice. It was Ayla. "Mergirls can't live in the air." "It's a real mermaid," said Amber. "It's a real sea dragon," said Blake. They knelt down and started gently, pushing away the sand with their hands. Suddenly they heard a barking. A man with a little dog was coming down the beach. The dog stood stiff and still, with its head pointing up. It barked and barked and barked. It knew about the sea dragon and the mergirl. "Nice sand sculpture," shouted the man to Amber and Blake. "You must have worked hard on that. Can I take a photo of it? Sit, Bramble, sit." Bramble sat on the sand, quivering with excitement. The little sea dragon and Ayla lay still as still while the man walked around them, choosing where to take his photo. "This is amazing," he said. The camera clicked and clicked. The little sea dragon struggled not to cough. At last the man was finished and he walked away with Bramble. "Quick, quick," called the mergirl. "I can't live in the air." "What can we do?" asked Amber. "The sea has thrown them right up the beach. The tide will never reach them." "We can't carry them," said Blake. "They're much too heavy." The little sea dragon heard this, and big tears fell from his sad eyes. He thought it was his fault. He asked Ayla to come on a wild adventure, and now she was in danger. If Ayla could not go back to the sea quickly, she would die. He cried and cried, and his tears soaked the sand. Ayla felt the tears touch her seal blue tail, and she said, "Cry some more, little sea dragon. Your salty tears are like the sea. They're keeping me alive." The sea dragon cried and cried and cried. First his tears were a trickle, and then they were a stream, and then they were a river. Amber and Blake could not believe that anyone could cry so much. "Quick, let's catch his tears in our buckets." Amber and Blake poured the sea dragon's tears over Ayla with their buckets. Now she could breathe. Now she was growing strong. The salty tears loosened the sand around the little sea dragon and the mergirl. The tears flowed, and Ayla's beautiful seal blue tail began to stir. She was moving. She was slithering and sliding towards the sea. Amber kept pouring the tears over her, and Blake dug a channel as fast as he could, so the tears could make the people stream. At last the mergirl slipped into the shallows. She put her head under the water and breathed deeply as her hair floated around her like seaweed. Behind Ayla, the little sea dragon lolloped towards the water. He was still crying, but he was smiling too. His scales glistened silver as the sea touched them and washed away the sand. "Sea dragon, you are so beautiful," said Amber. She put her arms around him. "I wish you could stay." Amber and Blake stood knee-deep in the water. Their shorts and t-shirts were wet with sea dragon's tears. Ayla was in deep water now, plunging and diving through the waves. "The sea is making her strong again," said Blake. Ayla lifted her head from the foam. She was smiling as she waved goodbye. "She never even said thank you," said Amber. "Mergirls never say thank you," explained the little sea dragon. It was time for him to go. He wanted to stay and play with the children, but it was too dangerous. People would soon come to the beach and see him. "You were very clever, little sea dragon," said Blake. He freed the mergirl. "Would you like my bracelet?" said Amber. And she took it off and hung it around the sea dragon's beautiful spines. The sea dragon tossed his head, and the last of his tears flew away, sparkling in the sunshine. "We sea dragons love going on wild adventures," he said, and then he lolloped into the waves. Just before the water went over his head, he turned back to Amber and Blake. He thought they looked sad to see him go. "Thank you," he called. And then he dived down deep, deep, deep to find Ayla in the green and blue water. The little sea dragon and Ayla swam and swam and swam through deep water until they reached their homes. When all the other sea dragons returned from finding treasure, they were cross with the little sea dragon. "Where were you?" said his mother. "You should have come with us," said his father. "You must learn to find treasure." "I did find treasure," said the little sea dragon. He unwound Amber's bracelet from his beautiful spine and showed it to them. All the sea dragons stared at the bracelet. They had never seen anything like it before. "We must bury it in our treasure caves," said the sea dragon's mother. "No," said the little sea dragon. I want to wear it forever and ever. And the sea dragon did wear Amber's bracelet forever and ever. But he never told the other sea dragons about his wild adventure. Every time Amber and Blake go to the beach, they look for the little sea dragon and Ayla. But so far, they have never seen him again. Maybe next. So, the last story. I hope you had a nice time this morning with me. I love reading stories to you, so thank you for listening. And I will see you on Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your week.